I walked, and I'm a little faster walking than the car. Well, there you are. I was just saying, I don't know if you heard, that you should get an award just for surviving the making of this film. But I want to take a little step back into the past, and even though the Spotlight program and the Mill Valley Award for the Spotlight is more about your work right now, this film, what you're doing now, but I think it's interesting to kind of look at the choices that you've made in the last number of years. In fact, when I was looking at your bio, they said something like, they talked about some of the films, and they said, in addition, it also is portrayal as the vampire Edward Cullen in the Twilight Saga, like in addition, there's just a casual mention to it. But since that point, what's been really fascinating to me is the choices that you've made and the clear love of film that you've brought to every role, and almost this obsessive search for working with great filmmakers, auteurs, and just doing the work and showing us what it takes to portray a character and really add to the film. And you've done this countless times again. And I just want to mention, in addition to involved in this obsession that I call it, I hope you don't mind, just the films that you've been dealing with. So 2 films by David Cronenberg, including Map of the Stars, Werner Herzog with Queen of the Desert, one of the great all-time auteurs. Good Time with the Safdie brothers. I love seeing that film in Cannes. What a ride. If you haven't seen it in a theater, you must rent that film. 2 films with David Michôd, including early The Rover and now The King with Timothée Chalamet. And of course, one of my favorite directors, Ciro Chiara, with Embrace of the Serpent and Birds of Paradise, which we showed last year. And of course, Anthony Campos with Christine, which was another film. All these, to me, are just such incredible choices and just reaffirm why you should be honored here in Mill Valley. But it is really because of this film, The Lighthouse. In addition to that moment that we hear here in time. And your portrayal of this is just magnificent. You and Willem together, I mean, it's some of the most extraordinary performance I've ever seen. And it brings to mind so many different aspects. And that's what a great role does. And I just want to say one thing before we give you the Mill Valley Award, is that there was a quote from Roger Eggers, the director of The Lighthouse, and he's talking about the film. He goes, "Nothing good can happen when 2 men are left alone in a giant phallus." Obviously not true, because you brought to us so much joy and just this iconic role. So thank you, and it's my pleasure to present you with the Mill Valley.
From the side, quite phallic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I hope you guys enjoyed the movie. It's quite strange. Okay, good. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, I've just been hearing about the festival, and I've heard about it from other people, and it's a real honor and a privilege to play the movie here. And I really love this movie, and I think a place like this festival, kind of one of the reasons it can even exist. I mean, it feels so. When I first saw it, it felt so strange, and I just love the fact that people are going to go and see this in the theatre and not really have any idea what to expect. And I think the whole festivals are the reason why any of the stuff gets made. Otherwise, it's just going to be really, really mainstream stuff in multiplexes. So thank you so much for playing it, and thank you so much for this great honor and this beautiful fab. So use it. Thank you very much.
not done yet, we're far from done, because we're going to have with us, and I'm going to bring to the stage, Chanel Riley, who's the Features and Award Editor of Variety, and Rob and Chanel are going to have a little conversation. So we're just going to move this podium. We're going to keep the phallus cinnamon, and we'll be starting in a minute. Thank you.
Hey.
More like it.
I assume phalli is the plural. I am so pleased to be here because, as Mark was saying, you have had such a fascinating career, I think, of unexpected choices. And one of the things I love, I heard that you sort of met with Robert Eggers to discuss making a movie together, and the first thing he pitched you wasn't weird enough.
That's two things.
You turned down two things.
Well, I approached him about something which never got made, which I still would love to do with him. A kind of medieval thing. But that didn't come together. And then I talked to him about Nosferatu, and I thought that was a little bit close to home. And so
Took me a second, sorry.
And but it was a great script. And then he sent me this, which is, I was like, whoa, okay, this is left field.
You said, this is weird enough. I will take this.
Yeah, it was almost, yeah, then I was like, wait, hold on a second, this is a little too weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine too weird for you. I don't know if it exists.